Good morning, everybody. Well, no, actually I shouldn't say that because it's not, is it? It's not a fucking good morning. Anyway, no, I don't mean to sound negative or anything, but I really firmly believe, and always have done, in calling a fucking spade a spade. And there is nothing good on the face of it about the... I don't even have any words for it, but let's just call it the energy that we find ourselves in, you know, since it all began last year, I think, in July. It began to ramp up, and it's been growing steadily more malevolent, malicious, putrid, evil, sadistic, cruel, dank, dirty, nasty, and, well, add to that any word that you can think of in the vernacular of the Oxford Dictionary. Everything is on the table. I'm looking at so many different aspects, so many different notions, so many different theories, thoughts, feelings, etc. And one thing that has always bugged me, that's always really deeply unsettled me, is the people that never change. I'm the sort of person, I notice things, you know, I always have done. And these are people that I've known for years that are supposedly awake. So they can talk about the current psyop, they can talk about any conspiracy that you want to discuss with them. They can talk about flat earth, or they can talk about this, that and the other, and they talk about all of it, right? And so they can see, they understand about the whole NPC thing, for example. But when it comes to psycho-spiritual development, when it comes to consciousness, when it comes to the realization that, well, hey, all my life I've existed in this hell realm, that's bound to have fucked with me in a big way. So I need to go within. I need to look at myself. I need to put myself under a microscope here. That is what I need to do. They don't do that. They never think that, ever. I've come to the conclusion, and so consequently, they never change. Bear with me a minute, guys. I'm just going to get my notebook. Right, back. That's obvious, isn't it? Yeah, so they never change. Because if you don't clear out, if you do not go within, if you don't know how to go within, this also appears to be a major issue that people, when I say go within, people say, well, what do you mean by that? And I can tell by what they talk about, or how they talk, or how they behave, or how their energy feels, that they don't understand how to go within. That's a major issue as well. They just don't know. And I hate to say this, but a lot of people just aren't very smart. A true soul traveler is smart. We have good, wholesome IQ. I'm not talking about Mensa tests, because that's all bullshit. That is totally fucking, that's gaslighting nonsense. But it's idiosyncratic, unpredictable, fluid intelligence. It's an intuitive intelligence. It's a whole different thing. I've come to the uncomfortable conclusion that the vast majority of people just are not real. They're not sold at all. They're very well constructed caricatures or simulacra of sold people, but they are nothing of the kind. Because a truly sold being would change, they would evolve, they would there would be all kinds of shit going on, man. They would not be like a broken record, still watching fucking things like David Icke, Alex Jones, spouting out the same garbage about the World Economic Forum and this and that and ooh and ah and oh. I mean, I'm well aware of the addiction that keeps drawing people back to the same bullshit over and over and over again. That is very much part of mass consciousness. I mean, there's a million different channels that the alternative media is exactly the same as the mainstream media. They are exactly the same. They are a furtherance, a continuation of that. Right? People walk away from the mainstream media, or this is how the story goes, right? People, they're not sold. This is just a mass hive thing, whatever the fuck it is. I don't even fucking know. Here's another thing, guys. I've been doing this channel for a long time, right? You know, some of you watched nearly all of my videos. Now, I talk passionately about what I've observed and what I've experienced and what I make of those experiences. But I need to say this right here, right now. That doesn't make me an expert on anything, right? And if I ever come across like I know exactly what's going on, then just disregard that, okay? I'm intense and I'm passionate. But I'm learning yet again, that every time I think I know something, another nuance or another layer opens up and I'm like, oh, I thought I knew, and now I realise that actually I didn't. I know perhaps a little bit, but I don't know anywhere near enough. I barely know the tip of the iceberg, maybe not even that. I do these videos because, you know, they help me elucidate for my own purposes in many ways. They are my maverick effects, because I say shit. I don't know if you guys noticed that not in my last video, but in the one before that, I talked about McCracken, and then we had the new Divock variant, and guess what they called it? And I was like, oh, you couldn't make this shit up, could you, motherfucker? But I'm all over the place again. I always am, aren't I? Never mind. It's like, I firmly believe with all my being that if you are truly sold, if you're a soul traveller, there's going to be moving and shaking going on. You're not going to be sat there watching 100 different channels all talking about the same thing, and it's always the same fear porn. It's always about the WEF and that German guy with his fake German accent, which isn't fucking real, because this whole fucking thing that we find ourselves in is some sort of weird simulation. That I am 100% convinced of. I'm not saying it is a simulation as in like a computerized thing. I'm not saying that. I don't know, okay? I know that it's way beyond probably my capacity to comprehend. I can't stand people that say, oh, well, this is what it is and that is what it is. And it's like, well, did you hear that from so-and-so in this video? You know, that guy that tries to sell you fucking, what is it? They always try and sell you survival gear, don't they? Like food and that sort of shit. Quite frankly, food I wouldn't touch with a barge pole. And even if all this shit went down, right, you can be so well prepped as to have food for the next 10 years, but is that really what you want? Is that the kind of life that you want to live? I'd just call it a day myself. I just can't be asked with that kind of total moronic bullshit. People are fucking dumb. I kid you fucking not. I'm so deeply at this moment in time disappointed, you know, in people. It's because I allowed myself to believe that they were sold and that they were doing the best that they can. But it's quite obvious to me they're not, because they are there. They are watching all these channels. There's this one called The Man in America, and then there's a World Alternative Media, and there's all these different Alex Jones, David Icke. I mean, all of it covers the same information ad nauseam. Right? With the occasional bit of a difference of, oh, China's taking over the world, and it's just like, and it's all bullshit, and it's all fear, and it's all designed to make you give up, to feed off your life force as you're sitting there like a fucking junkie, taking it in again and again, and then the next thing you know, you're there, and it's like, oh, this is happening, oh, that. They're all addicted, these people, to fucking drama. They're drama junkies, and they need their daily fix of negative fucking evil, disgusting, demonic fucking fear porn. I feel that addiction, you know, and it's so, I know it's an addiction because it feels just like after I gave up smoking, and it was like that. It was exactly the same. It was that push, that lure, that have a cigarette, go on, you know it's going to make you feel better. And for a while there I thought, you know what, let's do that. Let's see how that pans out. And it never panned out right. And it was like the other day, something said, oh, watch that. And it was a video by that fucking lying cunt, excuse my French, Max Egan, who's a total fucking, they are all demonic motherfuckers, you know? All these fucking fuckers are. I mean, 5 seconds and my energy, my mood, if you were, as it were, it is far more than my mood. It was my entire being just went woof, like lead. You know, like I was being drowned or like I was being choked to death. It was appalling. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, okay, good experience. So now you know. And I just realised, you know what? There is not a fucking thing on the internet now that captures my imagination. Here's that word again. Capture, captivating, capturing, grab. If there's one thing that I am really learning now, and this takes me right back actually to the rabbit hole has no stairs. Here's a video I did, I don't know, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago maybe. Prophetic words, if I say so myself. Everything is taken away. Because we're meant to be shown now, those of us who are actually sold, actually going within, actually changing and moving and shaking and shifting. Coming, like, remember when I said this out? The splitting apart of the hell contagion fake persona bullshit, and emerging from as a butterfly from the fucking caterpillar. Really, it's like that. It's like that is what is happening now. Because we've been addicts our whole life. We've used crutches our whole life. We've been needy and dependent and weak and stupid our whole life. And we didn't know any better. We didn't know any different. This is all we remember, isn't it? Yeah, we get glimpses of something other, you know, then you immediately get the cognitive dissonance as well. We have been in this demonically controlled concentration camp our entire fucking life. And when we walked away from the mainstream media, well, some of us never listened to them in the first place. Me, I never did. But, you know, you go into the alternative media, which tells you, which is just another layer of a pack of lies, basically. You get a few bits of truth there, you know, but it's all wrapped up and intermingled and mixed in with a pack of lies. It keeps you weak, it keeps you dependent, it keeps you in fear, it keeps you from making the ultimate crossing, the crossing. I keep coming across that, the crossing, the ultimate gambit. You have to do the impossible to get back to yourself, to get home, to break open or explode into light or something. And all the whilst you're making the crossing, all the demons from hell will be screaming at you, will be pressing down upon you with great darkness, malice and hatred, so that you can barely walk. And even whilst that is happening and you can see the light within you there, over there, and you know what you need to do, it's all the difference, you know, between death and life, between self-hate and self-love. The only thing stopping you is the notion that love is powerless, love is weak, or evil always wins anyway. There's no, you might as well not bother, you might as well give up, you might as well just carry on hating yourself, you might as well just carry on tormenting yourself in worst case scenarios. Nothing is ever going to work out, it's all fucking shit. I'd better sit down and go back to listening to Alex Jones and David Icke again and let them fill me with fear. Because that's where it's at. And that makes me feel good. You know, I better carry on behaving the way I always have. And let the hell contagion and all this insanity and all this hate and all this vengefulness and all this judgment, and they're all doing it to me and I hate everybody and they're all assholes and they're all scumbags, I hate them all. I might as well just carry on doing that because that's fair there, yeah. I'm used to that, and that's it, that's where it's at. I understand all this, you know, because I'm going through this right now and I feel it. This is why there's all these fucking NPCs everywhere. I mean, yesterday I had to get something from the supermarket. It's called Sainsbury's, and it's just one giant hole full of poison, right? There's very few items in there that I would even deign to put in my mouth. But you know, I had to, and I mean, I was looking around and literally I didn't come across a single sold person in there. They were all NPCs. We went for a little walk in nature, and all of a sudden there were all these runners everywhere, these joggers, you know, and they love to be in groups, don't they? They're like cliquey as fuck, these NPCs. And yeah, you know, I am aware that I am talking about and expressing right now the very thing I also realise needs to be left behind. And for the most part I managed to do that. But these last few days, it's just been in my face to such an extent that I just want to scream until my fucking vocal cords fucking bleed. Because these runners, man, it's always the same. How do you recognise an NPC? A, they do not make eye contact ever. I don't know why this is, but they don't. They do not like to make eye contact. When it is, it's furtive, like that, you know? They don't like making eye contact, and they always smell like laundry detergent. Why the fuck is that? These are your obvious NPCs. I'm beginning to realize that there are all kinds of different NPCs. There are the NPCs that, I call them mimics. They're very carefully put together. They do not necessarily smell of laundry detergent. They might even make eye contact, and they give you a smile, and they'll this and that and ooh and ah, but they're fixed. They are fixed. they never change. And if they never change, they're not soul, because soul beings want to change. You're not here to fuck around and do nothing and go nowhere and do the same thing over and over and over again. That is an NPC thing. They're dead. But you know, it was there. I was like there in this place, and it was nature, and it was beautiful. And then all of a sudden, all these joggers and all the cyclists, you know, with their gear, they're all fucking NPCs as well. Unbelievable. Everything right now, everything is geared toward getting us to give up. It's like lead. Because I know what I have to do, and I know I have to do it despite and in spite of. And that's why it's very difficult, because it's a leap of faith, because it's like, well, why even bother? It's not going to get you anywhere, right? And it puts all these notions in my head of all these haters and all these people like, what the fuck is wrong, and all this type of shit, because, oh man, that is what this place does. This place is infected with disease of the mind, of the consciousness, of the body subsequently, and it fucks with you in here. I mean, most people don't, well, I say most people don't, and then I realise, oh, of course they're NPCs, so no, they're not going to. But you know, I'd say at least 90% of the shit in your head ain't yours. It's not yours, it's not yours. But you've got to be in awareness of it. You've got to be in awareness of it, and you mustn't let it run your fucking show, and that is the trick. You get better at it as you progress and walk your true path. You get a little bit better at it. Ergo, you change. You go through what I'd call the purgings of that hell contagion, and then you emerge, and you have insights, you know, your vision clears, because another layer of mind control is removed, so you can see more clearly as to what is really going on within, without, you know, you begin to get it more and more. And this is why people with souls, soul travelers, change. We change because we do the fucking work, right? Somebody once left a comment asking me, well, tell me how to do it then. And I was like, well, and they asked it in such a way as to kind of throw down the gauntlet, a bit of like a hater. You know, this is typical of people that, well, it's probably an NPC, whatever, you know, it's not my job to tell you how. It's your job to work it out, because if you're a soul traveler, you'll most likely already be doing it. And you'll have your own way of doing it, I dare say. But all I will say is that I went to see a counsellor many years ago. I don't now. I don't have any need whatsoever to see a counsellor, because they're all idiots. They don't have a fucking clue. And I am completely autonomous at this point. I trust myself more than I trust anything or anyone. This is what I've learned on the long, hard road that I have fucking walked, and often enough fucking crawled along. But it's a counsellor, and she wasn't bad actually. You know, it was your talk therapy, but it's gestalt, isn't it? So it's made up of questions. How, you know, like a child, well, what are you feeling? Why are you feeling it? And then something comes up. I'm feeling like this because of that, and why is that? And you probe into yourself through the layers. It's just something I really believe that all soul travelers will innately know how to do in their own way. And that is why you will change, and it's the hardest path, absolutely, but there is, in my humble opinion, there is no other way out of this dreadful, horrific, harrowing predicament that we find ourselves in. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, it's like when you empty a barrel of poison, because, like, you know, your new age false light NPCs will tell you, oh, it just gets better and better. Well, that's fucking bullshit. You have a barrel full of fucking black poison, right? Mind control, wow, massive. Trauma, because it's all trauma-based, mind control. right? And at the same time as that's all going on, you're also every day being told by the mundane reality reinforcement officers, the NPCs, that life is great, life is great. You're not having fun. Well, there's something wrong with you because we're all really happy, you know. And it's all it's like, oh, I have a wonderful career, and oh, I have so much money, and oh, and it's all fucking garbage, of course. This absolute disgusting garbage. But you're being, again, mind controlled. Again, this is another layer, so that you think, well, there must be something wrong with me because I'm having an absolutely shitty time and I'm feeling really angry. And I'm really depressed and I just feel like suicidal. I feel anhedonia. I'm in the land of anhedonia, and it's just like, what the fuck? I felt that way my whole life. I've always known something was badly wrong. But I kept being told by all these people that it was all about doing well and making money and having a career and status and ooh and ah and ooh, and you know, now I know that it's fucking wow. The lies and the insidious, malignant filth, unbelievable. Because you look around you, you look at these people that have money and big houses, and you realise that they have nothing. They have nothing. They have nothing. They're dead. Death. Death. Evil is death. Death is evil and evil is death, and it's all, they're just rotting corpses. That's really all they are. They're growing old and they're getting sick and they're still dying of cancer, and they're still dying because they had the steak injectable, the steak injectable, yeah, because they are fucking vampires. You know, it's, they're nothing, they have nothing and they are nothing, and they all stink of laundry detergents, and they don't like making eye contact, and they all wear the same get-up, and they're cliquey as fuck. And even when you come across you come across them on their own, it's almost as if they shrink away from us, you know. They don't like us. They don't like us at all. They're scared of us, I think. I think it's our life essence that frightens the fuck out of them, you know. The light is bright and it blinds them. Bit of a ranty video here today, guys. Entirely apt. I'm just more aware of ever. That it all comes down to a choice, a leap of faith to embrace and be embraced by love. And I don't mean love as in Barry White, because that is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, I mean love or sex, which all of a sudden that's really in my face again. Oh yeah, because you need to have sex, tantric sex and sex and sex, and it's like, no thank you, because I know what that is all about. Again, this is a hijack of our creationary energy, our power to manifest, and it's been hijacked and locked into sexuality, ergo sex drive. The reason it's called that ought to tell you something, but again, most people just can't seem to get that. Anyway, I'll leave them to it. You know, the thing is, we have lived, oh no, you couldn't call it living. We have existed in this fucking energetic Mauthausen here all our life. We've been subjected to the Black Hand and the Dark Generator and the Punisher, telling us how shit we are, how worthless we are, and how powerless we are. On the external, they will call it the inner critic, but it's far worse than that. As those of us who have really done the work know, we know all about that. We know what that is. That is what has been at us our whole life, from when we were even in the womb. And it's been doing that to our mother and our father and our grandparents and our great-grandparents and our great-great-grandparents, and to all the people around us. It's the mass consciousness, the black fatted goo that we exist in. It's like a sea of evil manipulation. So the very fact that we are still and are navigating still here is in and of itself a fucking miracle. It really fucking is. Those of us who understand the extent of evil here now is because it's all coming to a head, of course, right? The last 3 years, if anything, have shown us the true nature of the beast. It's very exposed now, very exposed. The whole shit show that all these fucking fanboys of evil seem to think is real, like Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum and all this shit, and what's that Microsoft guy, all of it. Oh, they're doing this to us, and oh, that's so powerful, and well, what are they doing now? Oh, I've got to watch this video. What are they going to do to us now? And oh, 2023, they're going to do this to us, and they're going to do that to us, and they're going to starve us all now. Oh, they're going to do that. You see, I don't do that. I don't watch that kind of garbage. No. But you go onto YouTube or you go onto any of the other platforms and you will find that that's pretty much all you're going to get now. It's like, wow. I became really aware of that because I was like, I was looking for a video and I couldn't remember the channel, and it's a really good little video and I couldn't find it anywhere, you know. So I was scrolling and looking and it was like, wow, the predictive programming, fear-based, is literally everywhere. And it is all predictive programming, by the way, guys. You know what I mean, don't you? They need our consciousness, soul traveler consciousness, the Holy Grail, to create this fucking garbage for them. Which is why you shouldn't fucking plug yourself into it, because if you do, you're guilty of creating it for them. Because none of it is real. Those motherfuckers don't even exist, you know. They're not real people. There is no such thing as the WEF. There is no such thing as Klaus or Bill or any of these. The whole thing is fake. Time and time again, there's a little YouTube channel. It's called The Eyes Will See, or Eyes Will See. It's quite interesting, you know, and he does all these little videos where he's taken footage from television and things like that. And you see how these fucking creatures, these NPCs, how their skin is weird and it morphs, and they're holographic. They're not real. They're not real at all. None of this is real, guys. You know what I feel. I don't want to call it belief because that's very set in stone, and I don't want to do that because I can't be certain, you know, 100. But it does make sense to me because this whole thing is interactive to me. It's not like something, oh, it's all evil and we've been trapped here and it's all happening to us and we're powerless and there's nothing we can do. That is something that is good for the narcs, you know, the so-called conspiracy narcissists. They love all that, and they will always be there. They will never move, and they will always espouse that, and they will always you know, vomit that sort of garbage out, and always full of hate and full of self-hate and full of hate of everybody else and whatnot, and it's like, fuck off, get out of my life. To me, this has happened many times where I'm thinking about something and it shows up on the external. Happens all the time. It's a very mysterious thing, is this thing we laughingly refer to as reality. It's very mysterious, you know. I've looked at so many nuances of it, explored it. What it comes down to, for me at any rate, is to choose love. Not Barry White, no. Love as a state of consciousness. Love as in a state of consciousness that can achieve freedom. True freedom, right? Freedom from this hell contagion. Freedom from the disease that is evil. Because that is what it is. Evil is a disease. It isn't a natural thing. It's broken. It's a parasite, and a parasite is something that is broken. I need to feed him. It's like they all do the same thing over and over and over again. It has no creativity. It is dead. I feel this. This is what I see. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying that is what I see. That's not to say that we should underestimate it. You should never underestimate your enemy. You should study your enemy. But even in studying your enemy, you're likely to become somewhat contaminated. You know, it's like I've said many times, it's like walking a tightrope. It's so difficult. And the more you go within and uncover what lies within your being, that if you pay attention to the people around you, you will see that that is uniform. It's a uniform and it's a universal thing. People pretend they're happy, but they're not at all. I mean, I know people who have a lot of money, who, you know, have a big house and they're always sick, they're always unwell, and they never go into nature, they never go for walks in nature, they never do anything, they just work. That's all they do, they work, you know, and they amass fortunes. And when you look at the books on the bookshelf, there's all these books that were written in the 80s and 90s and the 2000s about, you know, by these fucking get-rich gurus, and they're all NPCs, and they're fucking abominations, right? It's all about money. And they look like shit, they have black bags under their eyes, they're going to go for their next booster, and it's like, I'd rather be me. I mean, but there's no doubt about it that it's like, you know, the barrel of poison. The poison never gets less poisonous, does it? So it doesn't get better and better. No, it gets darker and darker, actually, because when you get to the bottom of the barrel, and I do feel that that is what is happening now. Again, I could be wrong, but it's what I feel. It gets really thick. It gets really, really thick within me. I'm now unearthing, extracting, as it were, some really dark self-hate shit. Honest to God, evil has trauma-based mind controlled us for one reason only, and that is to fill us. Oh, Kiss, you okay? I see. Well, go and eat your chicken, alright? He's had his chicken dinner. It needs for us to hate ourselves, to be filled with a bitter, punitive, against self, defeatist, victimy, black self-hate. You know? Because that is how it has power over us. I have said it before and I will say it again, because that I know to be true, beyond any doubt. You can speak to other people that you know to be soul, because they are doing some inner work and they are moving. They may be kind of normies, but they are, like, I know people like that. They are doing some inner work. They have changed. I know that they are sold. But you say this to them, they get very, very shifty, very uncomfortable. They don't want to go there. They can't go there. No. I'm always taken back to June, because that book is just so meaningful to me. But it literally is like changing the waters of life. You know, for those of you who are familiar with the book. But we were severely trauma-based mind controlled to turn us into batteries. How are we batteries? Because we are full of self-hate and self-torment and self-torture and self-abuse and self-attack. And it manifests as this unrelenting stream of obstructionism. You get dressed in the morning and everything is upside down and inside out, right? Have you noticed that? You're there making your coffee and something falls over, you don't even know how, right, and scatters fucking coffee all over the place. Things blow up, things fall apart, everything it happens in every imaginable way, and it is the nature of this realm, guys, this obstructionism. I call it the anti-force. The mundane reality, trauma-based mind control reinforcement officers will say, that you know, they will never, I mean, you know, they reinforce that everything is fine and everything is good and this is how it's meant to be, right? Increasingly you will come across this, and you will come across all the false light programming as well, which you need to be aware of, and you need to be highly discerning. Because more and more now do I see through all the fucking bullshit of the false light new age paradigm, the law of attraction, whereby people are terrified of their own emotions and their own thoughts, and brutally repress because they're terrified that these thoughts and these emotions are going to manifest bad things. You know, this is exactly what they want you to do. They want all that horrifying trauma and self-hate trapped in your subconscious so that they can keep you trapped in this matrix and use you as a battery, because your life force is like fucking gold to them. It's because you're not aware then, and you'll still be trapped in the what they're doing to us now, and you're literally being predictively programmed, and you're creating this shit for them. I mean, I would have to do a whole video and explain the ins and outs of all of that, and I really don't think I will, because I just can't be asked, because you're either going to get it or not. You're not, your journey and your ability to get it and do your inner work is entirely down to the level of commitment you have to truth and liberation, right? It's as simple as that. You're not my responsibility. Your journey and your whatever you choose to do or not do, whatever, it's just not my fucking responsibility, you know. And I always know when I get comments of very needy people, this and that, they're not ever going to do the work, and they're probably fucking narcissists, and they're probably NPCs, because it's like, mate, if you were worth your salt, you would be doing the fucking work. You might be at the beginning stages of it, and you're still wandering around, you still feel fucking lost. Oh, by the way, I totally feel lost as well, so that doesn't really fucking change. But you'll know, because you'll change. You will change, you know. You will change in here and you will change out there. It's in I ate something yesterday that I've never ever had any problem eating, and all of a sudden I can't eat it anymore because my vibration, and I hate this terminology, but I don't know what else to use, my bandwidth I suppose, has gone so high now that poison of any kind, no matter how subtle, just literally it's like, no, can't do this, no, can't speak to you, I can't go to that place, I can't eat that, I can't wear this. It's like that. Can't do it, don't want it. Your life becomes very, 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 very narrow. You know, you click on Netflix and you have a look and you think, okay, 99.9% of this is satanic filth and I can't watch it. I won't watch it because I try. Let me see. It's like a litmus test. Every now and then you have to try it out, yeah? So you click on something and you're literally 10 seconds in and it's like, whoa, I feel like shit. I need to get the fuck away from this. You know, so I'm just currently re-watching DS9, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I love that series. And it's actually quite comforting and full of good, wholesome synchronicity. Love it. I love Sisko, the captain. He's my favourite Star Trek captain, and he's fucking handsome. Oh, eye candy. But anyway, I hate the Bajorans though. The Bajorans are like the equivalent of your New Age NPC. They're all focused on the external and they're all just looking for the teacher or the guru. I need a teacher, I need somebody to tell me what to think. And it's like, motherfucker, Because any true soul traveler at this junction now, or you will get there if you're not there yet, will no longer want that. I don't want these people telling me anything. I don't want that Dolores Cannon or that Eckhart Tolle or that Louise Hay or that Wayne Dwyer or that fucking, what was his name again? This Indian guy. And the minute the whole Divot thing happened, he was there with his mask telling everybody to go get vaccinated. And I was like, wow, there you have it. There you have it. It's all false light. Anything that keeps you dependent, anything that stops you from truly self-empowering and self-realizing is false light. Right? Anything that wants you to quick fix or to deny yourself, deny your truth, who you are, what you're feeling, what you know, your trauma, your iniquities, you know, because we're full of sin and iniquity. And I don't mean to say that we're guilty, but look at how you behave towards others. I'm not talking about that I'm not saying you should be nice to the NPCs. I know that the way to deal with the NPCs is to be in neutral. That is the best way. I didn't manage that yesterday. I was on fire yesterday with my imaginary invisible AK-47. No, we don't always manage it, and that's fine. Forgive yourself. Yeah. After all, they are fucking putrid, disgusting, fucking whatever they are. It's like fucking die, motherfuckers. I was like that in there. I was like, yeah, but not really. You know, I mean, they really are, but it's neutral. It's like, because when you know that you are not a powerless victim, when you know that the light will win this, then you're no longer in that state. I was in that state because I felt so heavily inundated with defeat and darkness within as well as there, that I felt like a victim, and I felt powerless, and I felt full of hate and rage and vengeance and self-hate and self-attacking thoughts. Black hands, like, you know, Dark Generator. That's the voice of Sauron, you know what I mean? The mouth of Sauron, all these, you know, you're not going to make it, you're not going to make it, evil's won, the world's, I mean, because you drive around now and it's like, oh, okay, so we're just in hell then. Yeah, there's dead animals everywhere, there's fucking squalor everywhere. The world seems to have gone almost like black and white. There's disgusting, horrible housing developments shooting up here, there and everywhere, just eradicating nature, destroying animals, badger sets, dead animals everywhere, man, dead deer, it's unbelievable, car crashes everywhere, accidents, you know. It's absolutely fucking appalling. It really is worse now than ever before, and it feels so dreadful and so doom-laden. But that is what it wants. This is very, what can I, well, how, it's difficult to put into words, guys, really, you know. And that, of course, is part of the plan, because if you can't really verbalize it, you can't really contextualize it, you can't really convey it, then it feels like you don't have a handle on it. And if you don't have a handle on it, then you feel lost, right? I'm sorry guys, I'm all over the place, you know. It's just, I really felt like doing this video. I felt like getting this shit off my chest, you know. It's so beyond anything I've known up to this point. And I have such a wide array of negative emotions and energies, and the black hand, which is that the psychopathic frequency of defeat and decay and doom. I keep hearing voices saying, you're going to be destroyed, we're going to destroy you, why don't you kill yourself, and all of that, you know. And again, people go, oh, maybe you should take your meds. And I'm like, no, if you did your work, that would come up for you as well. Then you would actually understand what's really fucking going on here, instead of judging me. So fuck off. Wow. That I really hate, you know, when you're there, you're really doing your work and you're really, really getting it. You really see what's fucking going on, you know, spirit eyes. And then you get these people saying, oh, well, maybe you're schizophrenic if you're hearing voices. I never hear voices. Well, I do, but it's, you know, it's telling me how pretty I am, or so, I don't know, some fucking, like, Tweety bird bullshit. I mean, the whole thing that we're living in here is psychoprojective telepathy. That's really what it is, guys. You know, our consciousness is infected with a virus. It's called the hell contagion, and it creates shit. And it creates all these enemies on the external plane, but it's very convoluted. Because if you see them, they are not the power. The power is hidden. It's hidden. And it has these puppets, you know, that you see. And they're not even puppets. They're not even actors. They're just holographic characters, man. You know. And all of it in this sea of insanity and doom and fear and grief and rage and all the trauma that's coming up from within us, and all the discord and hate-filled voices, and the where you just, yeah, you fuckers, and the war and the conflict and the vengeance, which is not going to get you anywhere, and it all comes from I'm a powerless victim. Bullshit. Oh God. And the feelings of just like we're not going to get anywhere in there, and just how it's literally this feeling of there. It's an onslaught. What can I say, guys? It's war, and it's an onslaught. It's an onslaught. It's an onslaught. And the only thing that you can do is keep coming back to your center. Even whilst all the devils in hell are howling and screaming and scraping at you, that you should go into the hell contagion, let it ride you, give in. The one thing that really stands out for me right now, and that's really helping actually, is in Star Wars, where Luke knows that he has to go and face Vader. Vader is his hell contagion, you know. And then of course the Emperor is the black hand and the dark generator. That's how that works for me. And he knows, Luke knows, that he has to go and face Vader. There is no other way. That has to be done. So he has to, and he goes and he faces Vader in this massive face-off, and it's all about join the dark side, Luke. Give in to your hate. Give in to your hell contagion. Let it ride you. Let it consume you. This is all there is. You're just worthless. You're disgusting. You're disgusting, and so is everybody else. It's all gonna go to shit. You're shit. You're Join the dark side. Listen to the dark side. Let it consume you. This is all there is. This is the omega point, guys. The 0 point. It's what I feel. It's what I feel. Because that is the moment where what you choose is the difference between death and life, and hate and fear and doom and love and infinite harmonious creativity. I really believe that. I do believe that. I feel that, rather. I don't like the word, excuse me, believe very much. Some of you are not going to be ready for that yet. I know that. Some of you are really still really stuck in that hell contagion, and it really rides you, and you don't know how to crawl out from under it. And that's okay, because you will get to that point. I know that you will, because I used to be exactly the same. And if you're genuine, you're doing your work, you will. You will get to that point. But it's exponential, and you get to this moment, and oh, the onslaught, and it feels... I had a word for it, which I've forgotten. it does this because I believe, I feel, believe again, I hate that word. I feel that when you're really beginning to take away that which it uses to hook itself into you and use you like a fucking sock puppet, which is what evil's been doing to us all this time. It uses us like a fucking sock puppet. It has its hand firmly right into us through our self-hate, hell contagion, insanity, trauma-based mind control, you see. I mean, you go through years of really excavating, purging, alchemizing that, and literally moving up the spiral path into understanding spirit eyes, knowing what's really going on and how to set yourself free, the understanding of how to liberate yourself from this disease called evil once and for all. It gets desperate, it gets very frightened. I know this because, like I said, you know, these NPCs, man, they don't want to make eye contact. They're almost like ooh, like that, you know. It's very strange. I've noticed it. You choose. You feel the doom. You feel the severe depression, the fear, the grief. You feel the hell contagion, and you're still very much like that. You're very wobbly on your legs. In my last video I talked about flexing the muscle, right? When you lift weights, when you first start to lift weights, you start with a very, like, maybe 1 kilo, and you work your way up, you know, because your muscles aren't used to. Or like Neo, when he comes out of his battery pots, he has to lie on that table, and all these needles have to literally bring his muscles, because he never used them. It's like that, guys. And it's the hardest thing to do, because half of the time you think you're going to be defeated and you're going to be destroyed, and all the demons in hell literally are at you, because you're now at a point where you're beginning to literally escape them. That is what I feel. When you choose to align yourself with love, with self-love, right? You have to actually talk to yourself and say, I'm not going to let you speak to me like that anymore. I'm not going to let you talk to me about, oh, you're never going to make it anyway, everything is shit, you know, the passive-aggressive element, like this bitter, rage-filled, defeatist garbage that you levy upon yourself. That has to stop. And you can do that, and then you're overtaken by it again, and you find yourself doing it, and then you have to get yourself out of it again. I mean, it's hijacked our imagination. We don't even know how to imagine this any other way than what we've experienced, right? We're so infected with darkness and despair and hate. It's just appalling. It's really, really bad, you know. So this takes some doing. It's like bit by bit, step by step, guys. And I mean, it's difficult because things have happened, and it will do this. It will say, well, you can't trust the light. You can't trust love. You can't trust yourself, because look at this. And why did that happen? And you know, when that happened, well, why would love stand by and let that happen to you? And I mean, because there's incidents for me that were brought up yesterday and the voice went, well, you can't trust in the light, because there is no light, there's only darkness, and there's only evil, and evil always wins, because if there was light, you wouldn't have let that happen, and you wouldn't have had to go through that. It's very difficult, because even there in that moment I said, well, yeah, I don't have an answer for that right now, but that doesn't mean that I need to carry on abusing myself and tormenting and punishing myself. See, that is what it wants. It will, I've said this in my last few videos, it will do everything it can to keep you in a self-punishment, self-hate state, because that is where it has the power. And that is why you then, I feel, create these types of scenarios. You know, it sort of works that way. Not directly at all. It's far more insidious and difficult to, you can't, you know, it's not direct, it's not black and white, and it's not straightforward at all. It's you know, it's like a writhing snake. But start with this, guys. Start with the awareness that you can choose to love yourself, to stand by yourself, to nurture yourself, to step back from these inundations of hatred levied upon you, where it just wants you to hate yourself. And then shit happens, you go through experiences, maybe with your body, your health, or loved ones get hurt, or money, or workplace horrible nasty shit, or anything at all that really fucks with you and really upsets you and makes you feel really powerless. And then it really will bring up all this victimhood and all this self-hate again. And then you have to sit with it and you have to work through it and you have to get back to love. Because one thing is a fact, and it's the absolute truth. You can choose to love yourself despite everything. And even if evil always wins, I would still choose to love myself, and I would still choose to say, no, I will not hate myself anymore. I will not let the dark side make me hate myself. So that is one step I can take, and I will take over and over and over again. I will work through everything that's coming up now because of the demonic attack that is literally all day, every day now. So it's bringing it all up, and all the obstructionism, which is triggering me like you wouldn't believe, and all the fear and all the this and all the that, and ongoing issues and problems, you know, with my health or with finances or with anything, and that triggers me. Oh, well, see, you're doomed, we're never going to get anywhere, nothing ever works out, blah, and you're back in that hell again. It's literally a torture chamber where you've literally been living your whole life without even realizing, until you begin to awaken, and bit by bit you begin to see, and then you get super awake and you get it, spirit eyes. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't. So you work at that. Step one. That is one way of taking back your power. That is step one of taking back your power. You stop torturing yourself, and that takes quite a bit of doing, and that's where I'm at right now, and I feel that is step one. And the Maverick effect has guided me here, because I can see it very clearly. It's not a concept, you know, a theory. This is something I'm feeling. I feel it. It's intuition, synchronicity and intuition. Oh, because guys, the forces of evil would never want you to love yourself, support yourself, be your best friend, and work through your shit and stand by yourself. It hates love, and it hates light. It hates it. That's why it hates you. That's why it hates me, because we are beings of light, you know. And this is why I do not believe that we fell into this or were trapped into this exactly. It doesn't really add up, because I still feel that love is a state of consciousness that is powerful. It would not be deceived by evil, which is a parasite, and it's an abomination, you know. It isn't a natural thing. So I don't know, and you will have many I don't knows, many I don't knows on this path. Yeah, and right now it's all out dark chaos, you know, and it's lonely, guys. It's fucking lonely. You're not going to come across many people like yourself. In fact, probably none. So that's why this channel is here, for real soul travelers, people that are genuinely doing the work, people that change, you know, so that you may also in the comment section, you know, leave your comments, talk about what you're going through. Feel free to do so. Connect with others so that you know that you are not alone, so that you know that you belong. Right? I don't mean belong in hell, but belong with, there are others like you. You're not alone. To choose love, to bring forth your light, even whilst in hell, is the hardest thing you'll have ever done. No doubt about that. That's what I'm feeling, I'm experiencing, you know. But it's the only thing that makes sense to me. Nothing else makes sense. I can carry on doing what I've always done, most of my life done without any awareness, and then awakening and more awareness of, okay, I see what's going on here, and then being able to climb out from under it a bit, which is where I'm at now. I'm gonna choose to do that. That is what I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose love. I'm gonna choose self-love. I'm gonna choose to stand by myself. And the dreadful fear and this dreadful sense of you're gonna be destroyed, we're gonna defeat you, we're gonna do all these horrible things to you, because it will do that, it will put that in your head, and you know, all that. I'm just gonna work through it as best I can, which is pretty much what I've always done anyway. And I'm just gonna make my stand here now. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not a catch-22 sort of person, and I will not serve the dark side by perpetuating it into this place. I won't do it. I choose to love myself, and I choose to love all soul beings of the light, because I believe in all my heart that we are all connected, that we belong together. I wouldn't say we're all one, meaning that, you know, we're just one thing, no, but we are connected indelibly by this light. It connects all of us. I do believe that. Oh, here we go. Believe. Sorry, guys, but you know what? It's not a word I like, but it's probably going to come out of my mouth again and again anyway, because language, you know, what the fuck? You know what I mean. What I mean really is that I sense this on a very deep level, and I think that these lines of light is what connects us. Even if we don't know each other, we are connected and we belong. And I believe that we are light bearers, and that we came here to do what, you know, some of us are doing now. And if you're not doing it just yet, and you're not able doing it just yet, you will get there. You know, it will be alright. I feel that. Even if the battle is so pitched now. So pitched. Wow. I do believe that we are going to get there. You know. But it all starts with choosing to no longer be a powerless slave to evil, to snap out of this spellbound state of being a mindless perpetuation of the dark side. We all have to face Vader. We face Vader again and again and again. And that emperor, that motherfucker on his fucking throne, ugly. See, these NPCs, have you noticed that increasingly how hideous they are and how ugly they are? They seem to favour that sort of thing. They like that. You see, evil likes to be ugly, fat, hideous, you know, bad skin. It loves being ugly. It likes distortion and ugliness. It likes foul smells. It likes colourlessness. It is the antithesis of love, because love loves beauty. See, and I've had some wonderful experiences of late that speak to me to that, to the power of love, because I was sat somewhere and this little robin came right up to me and just looked at me, and it was just amazing. And then I was somewhere else and this beautiful white goose came out of the water and just waddled right up to me and just looked at me and started speaking to me. And horses have been coming up to me, wild horses, wild ponies that never ever come up to anybody at all. In fact, they stay the fuck away from people, I can't blame them, but they were coming up to me to be, you know, stroked. I've had amazing dreams. I dreamt of, it was like just darkness, and then this tunnel opened up, which was made of threads of light, golden radiant light, and radiant colours, and it just opened up. That was amazing. I've had a lot of very meaningful dreams, and very meaningful, beautiful, loving encounters with animals and trees and nature, which has been very helpful to remind me not to give in and not to give up. Even if the emperor on his throne is telling me all kinds of horribleness, and Vader is there saying, give in to your hatred, join the dark side, I know what I must do. I will not give in, I will not give up, and I will love. I choose love, for I am a being of love. So that's what I do. So, you know, I wish you all the best and all my love to all of you, and, you know, thank you for watching my videos. All my love. Mwah.